Welcome in everybody live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Back in action after about a week off here on the YouTube channel. We're in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Raceway for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division Dash for Cash. Final race of the season, championship night. It's time for the payouts. The bank is open here at the 3/4 mile short track in Richmond, Virginia. These drivers are getting ready to absolutely tag along. 100 laps underneath the lights here tonight. We'll have a heat race scheduled for you. We'll have all of the postseason results, points, schedule, all that kind of stuff for you here in the next couple of moments. Right now, qualifying currently on our way here in Richmond. You are watching the Booty Scoot Racing Channel's WHELEN Modified Division Season 3 for the I-85 Asphalt Series. They are getting ready to take on the beautiful 3/4 mile racetrack that is absolutely legendary around the racing circuit. However, folks, we'll get these overlays fixed up for you here and get everything nice and goated. We got our Stars and Stripes I-85 Asphalt Series logo debuting here for the final race here tonight in Season 3 for the Dash for Cash. Ladies and gentlemen, the crowd is absolutely packed out here tonight for a stunning event here in Richmond. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the pit boxes down here. A clean racetrack. The wind's blowing. Qualifying on our way here in Richmond. We'll be back in just a moment. Stick around. Go grab another beer. Light another cigarette. Bang, bang. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are still counting down the clock here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel to the green flag for the heat race. The qualifying session is currently being scheduled up underneath our belt right now. This is the point system coming into tonight's event. Mathematically, it looks like Michael Johnson may have it wrapped up here tonight at Richmond for the championship, but you never know how things could shake out. Over 70-point lead right there to the guy behind him, Patrick McPeak. Those two guys have battled it out all year long. 5 wins between the two of them combined together for 5 poles on the regular season. 4 different heat race wins between the two drivers. They've been battling it out all year, and then out of nowhere came Zach Evans with his 7 top 5s on the year. 1 win for him as well at the Southern National Raceway. He's got 2 poles underneath his belt. These is an absolutely spread out field throughout the year. And ladies and gentlemen, we talked about it all year long. You're wondering, oh, what are these guys racing for? This is it here tonight. The bank is here. The payouts are ready to go out to each individual driver who respectfully earns their spot in the top 10 points driver. So if your favorite driver was just in green on the point standing screen, he has a chance to snack some points here tonight and some actual bonus money. If you round out the 10th place spot in the final point standings, you will at least make your money back with $5, with the first place position getting $70 and a t-shirt as well to go to the champion. Second place gets $35, $25 to third, $18 to fourth, $14 to fifth, $11 to sixth, $9 to seventh, and looks like qualifying is all wrapped up in the book here, just like we was waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get ready to get you down on the broadcast cam on the night's Booty Scoot Racing channel. Mike Doyle's going to be on the pole for tonight's heat race, getting ready to take place here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, see if we can't pull up the starting grid here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Mike Doyle is going to lead them from the pole with Aaron Evans to the outside of him. We'll get you down on the racetrack, let you meet your favorite drivers up close and personal. Driving the 00 from Middletown, New Jersey, Mike Doyle. Starting on the outside of him, front row, the 48 Hooters Modified from Crawfordsville, Indiana, of Aaron Evans. Starting in the second row on the inside from Mount Airy, North Carolina, driving the SP Modified, number 61, Patrick McPeak. Starting in the second row on the outside of him, that's the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Fabric Schaffner YouTube page, number 22, from High Point, North Carolina, Chris Schaffner. Starting in the third row, driving this number 27, Peeler's Apple L, Nurse Aviator number 27 Modified from Landrum, South Carolina, it's Adam Peeler. On the outside of him will be the American Badass number 72, Whelen Modified from South Boston, Virginia. It's the Triple S Throckmorton Modified of Ace Throckmorton. Starting in the 7th place spot here tonight in the heat race from Baltic, Connecticut, driving the Eastport number 82 Modified, it's Cody Klauser. Starting on the outside of him will be the number 919 MNK Modified. Starting in the 8th place spot of Josh Moore. Nate Hall will round out the final spot here in the heat race, driving the Weekend Woodsman number 18 Modified from Landrum, South Carolina. He'll be the final car in tonight's heat race. Mike Doyle's got the car in gear, the pace car getting ready to roll off of pit lane. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you came for. The heat race, 20 laps here tonight for the I-85 Asphalt Series, red, white, and boom, 100. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the payouts? Heading out here tonight at the end of the checkered flag for the finale here. 100 laps scheduled underneath the lights here right after the heat race. 9 drivers is going to be what stacks out this heat race, stacking out for what could be a possible heat race win that will reward you, 3 points. Second place will receive 2, third will receive 1. Everybody else on back will be SOL when it comes to the points. The red, white, and boom 100, packed out crowds all through turns 1 and 2 along the front straightaway. Peter the base car hangs him across the front straightaway, and it looks like maybe he might cut the lights off of that car. This will give us the perfect opportunity to bring up tonight's track fact for tonight's heat race. 100-lap event, 40-mile-an-hour pit lane speed around this D-shaped asphalt oval. 4 turns, managing between 8 and 14 degrees of banking. That opened in 1946. And one quick fact about the Richmond Raceway in 1946. Richmond Raceway only cost $10,000 for its grand opening. Now, obviously, over the years, probably millions of dollars have been put into this place, but $10,000 for the initial grand opening of a racetrack back in 1946. I mean, it must have felt like highway robbery to the people around there. But, ladies and gentlemen, 20 laps is what's going to shake out the heat race here tonight. Mike Doyle on the front row with Aaron Evans. Pace car down on the left on the pit lane. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Richmond. Down into turn 1 and 2. Green flag is in the air. Mike Doyle gets collected in the left rear by Patrick McPeak and up the racetrack. Turn 1. Caution flag is out on the racetrack. Nate Hall barely able to avoid the rate right there. Mike Doyle from the race lead to the back in the 9th place spot. Yellow flag out immediately. Pace car didn't even have a chance to get down on the pit lane and parked. We'll back that ass up for the instant replay. Take a look and see exactly what just took place here at the Richmond Raceway between devious Mike Doyle and Patty McPeak. Matty McPeak looks like he maybe got back to the gas a little earlier than he anticipated. Just jumped right into the back of the Mike Doyle machine. We'll back it up one more time. Take a look here. From a different angle, can we pull up the blimp cam? Might be a little higher than we were anticipating, but that is A-okay. We'll slow it down right here. Mike Doyle up the racetrack a tad bit. McPeak looking to make it 3 wide on the bottom side. Just collects the left rear. Mike Doyle ships him around off the exit of turn 2. Look at Cody Klauser. Barely able to skate through there. We'll back it up one more time. See if we can't ride out of the front Nerf bar cam with Patty McPeak as he comes down here into the bottom half of the opening lap of heat race number 1. Just maybe looks like he got up the racetrack into the left rear of the Supreme Tools 00 Modified of Mike Doyle. Everybody's able to escape through it. We'll get it back here on the main broadcast cam and get you back over here. So it looks like cleanup crew is working over there in turns 1 and 2. They'll put down some quick, speedy dry and try to clean up the racetrack. First caution flag here for the red, white, and boom. Come on, lap number 1 of the opening race in the heat race here tonight, scheduled for 20 laps. These drivers will fill out the field. 4th place on back. The Fast 3 drivers automatically advancing to the feature here tonight on time. And it looks like you could imagine with all the races we've had this season, I would remember everybody's name that's not on the field here in the heat race would be coming up to the feature race automatically, but just can't seem to pull that out right now. We'll see how this works out. Looks like we got 3 drivers up 3 spots from that wreck right there from where they started, so the field's been bundled up and shooken for sure. The lights are off on top of the pace car. Peter the pace car hitting that left down on the pit lane. Green flag is waving in the air from Freddie to Flagman about 200 feet away through the restart zone here in Richmond. Green flag back in the air here after the quick caution flag on lap number 1. You got yourself a virtual race back down here in Richmond. It's Nerf bar to the Nerf bar into turn 1 with Peeler and Schaffner. Schaffner will give up the spot right there. He'll fall into the 3rd place position. Smart move by the 22 machine of Chris Schaffner. They'll all slow down the back straightaway and made it further than we did last time. 16 laps to go here in the red, white, and boom 100. These drivers are going to wish that they kept it all together and had every single lap possible here tonight. 20 laps, as we've added 5 laps to the heat races here tonight. Typically scheduled for a 15-lap heat race. Week in, week out. Nerf bar to the Nerf bar down there. Throckmorton bangs it with Chris Schaffner. They'll work off the exit of turn 2. Throckmorton clears himself across the front nose of Chris Schaffner. How does Schaffner repay it as Josh Moore throws it down to the bottom of the racetrack? Josh Moore has been very steady all year long in this number 919. Hasn't had his name much called in victory lane or sitting on the poles when it comes to these heat races or the features, but he's been steady all year long. Top 5 maybe here, top 5 maybe there, but he actually finishes the races week in and week out instead of wrecking these modifieds. He's found himself in a points-paying spot here at the end of tonight's event. If he can hold on to that that 6th place points-paying spot here, he can find himself going home with a nice payout. Battles all over the racetrack. Josh Moore trying to feed in behind this number 61 of Patty McPeak, who brought out the first caution flag, and whoa, Nate Hall loose down the back straightaway. He's able to hold on to it, though. The left front is flat now. He'll hold it down on the bottom side of the racetrack and try to nurse it down on the pit lane. Nate Hall hard into the inside safer barrier will flatten the left front tire. On that WHELEN modified, he's able to safely make it down on the pit lane. A sledgehammer shot to the outside, retaining barrier there for the Nate Hall 18 Weekend Woodsman modified. 12 laps to go, going to be 11 this time around. This time Aaron Evans has the race lead in the Hooters. Number 48 modified in the distance trails the Adam Peeler 27 Nurse Aviator modified. He's actually got a nice line out of turn 2 right there, kind of dominating it really well compared to the 48 machine in front of them, kind of spread out through the field right now. And these drivers, one thing they cannot do tonight is allow the gaps that they see in front of them to mismanage. The draft is going to play a part in effect here tonight on the straightaways. If you cannot manage the corners the way that they probably need to be managed, you will find yourself towing away to the guys behind you. It's going to take work between the pack getting through the field here tonight. Green flag up in the air. One caution flag here for the heat race tonight on lap number 1. For a 3-wide mess for the race lead. Can't blame them. Trying to go for it. 8 laps to go the next time around for the red, white, and boom 100. Don't forget, folks, the 100-lap feature scheduled right after this. The top 3 drivers on time out of qualifying already have their name ready to go for the feature. They're watching down on the heat race right now, trying to look down on what the track conditions can bring here tonight in Virginia. Josh Moore ripping and roaring in this number 919 WHELEN modified. 8 laps to go here in Virginia in tonight's heat race. Settling out the field, 4th on back to at least the 13th place spot. Looks like Throckmorton maybe scraped the outside safer barrier right there. That number 72 badass modified. He's down on the bottom side though, really wrapping well to the yellow line. He's got tons of grip in this modified. Don't forget, folks, once the head on over to the feature after the conclusion of tonight's heat race, we'll have a 3-minute warm-up session that will allow the drivers to retweak down on the modifieds, get them locked and loaded however they would like. Want to wish you a happy 4th of July. We know we're late here. Been well over a week since we've been live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Starting to tone it down on what the things we have going on here. Schaffner not going away with a door-to-door battle with Mike Doyle. Devious Mike Doyle at that. Not happy with the way that he was raced, going from the pole here in the heat race all the way to the back after being turned around by Patrick McPeak. But Mike Doyle did miss the bottom side of the racetrack, left the bottom side hole open for Patty McPeak. Patty McPeak shut the door on him immediately, and Chris Schaffner gets shoved at the racetrack. He'll put the Nerf bar to the back of Josh Moore. Out of turn 4, that'll bring Mike Doyle and Nerf bar. The Nerf bar with him. They'll all battle down into turn 1. Mike Doyle down on the bottom side of Josh Moore. 2 friends off the racetrack. Maybe not on the racetrack, though. 5 laps to go. And it's an absolute stack-up battle back here for 5th on back. Mike Doyle, Josh Moore, Chris Schaffner, and Cody Klauser going at it here. Mike Doyle finally able to get himself out front with some clean air around Chris Schaffner. Chris Schaffner able to get around Josh Moore, who gets loose off of turn 2. Look at him trying to save the race car. He's down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Do we keep it green? No, the caution flag flies out here at the Richmond Raceway. Caution flag flies here at the Richmond Raceway. Aaron Evans is the race leader. Peter the pace car immediately out onto the racing surface. Josh Moore going to catch up to the tail end of the field. We'll back that ass up for a quick review of what just happened, even though we watched it live out of our camera. Josh Moore just gets loose down there on that yellow paint. Once these modifieds tweak once, you don't tweak them twice because they will go around. That's exactly what happens. A hard shot to the inside safer barrier for Josh Moore. The MNK 919 modified. He's able to get it refired up and moving though. We're throw it back up here to the regular main broadcast camera. Looks like Josh Moore has feeded to the tail end of the line. He'll be the EOL penalty for bringing out the caution flag. We'll re-rack them, bring them back out here to race, and hopefully stay out of the overtime for the one and only heat race scheduled here tonight. Peter the base car getting a little bit extra overtime here in the heat race. Only the second caution flag here tonight. Otherwise, and that's been some pretty clean racing up to that point here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll watch tonight's restart from the fan cam. Peter the base car will hang the left down. Aaron Evans looking for a heat race win. Adam Peeler on the outside of him. He'll look for an opportunity to try to go to victory lane here today in the heat race. Checkered flag will be in the air on a 2-lap shootout we're hearing right now. Green flag back in the air here. Richmond One hits the gas and goes around on the front straightaway. Stack up across the start-finish line. It's Adam Peeler in the 27 machine. We'll re-rack them for one final time here in the heat race, but we'll look back at the restart. Not entirely. Look like Adam Peeler hit the gas and goes around on the front straightaway. We'll have to back it up one more time. Make sure he didn't get any help that he maybe didn't want. We'll back it up one more time. Take a look here. See if we can't ride it around in slow motion and take a look here. Maybe Patty McPeak got into the back bumper there of Adam Peeler. And got him around on the front straightaway. We'll ride out of the front nose of Patrick McPeak. That'll be 2 tonight from Patrick. Already in the heat race into the back of somebody. We'll take a look. Almost definitely right there. Patty McPeak just gets into the back of Adam Peeler. Ships him around here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Adam Peeler not going to be happy with the way that he was just raced right there. He'll catch the tail end of the field. So will Patrick McPeak. He'll receive the EOL penalty for spinning out Adam Peeler. It's going to be a costly penalty there. They'll know that they'll have to fight hard here on the 2-lap shootout. When we go back racing here at the Richmond Raceway, third caution flag here in heat race number 1. And Aaron Evans holding on to the race lead. Lights are off on top of the base car. Getting ready to go racing one more time for the final time here in the overtime. This will be a 2-lap shootout. If the guys cannot get back to the checkered flag, the next caution flag will end the race. Aaron Evans on the front row. Green flag back in the air through the restart zone here at Richmond for a 2-lap shootout for the second time in the overtime for the Red, White, and Boom 100 heading down into turn 1 and 2. Aaron Evans has the race lead. Schaffner now the Nerf bar with Throckmorton. They'll head down the back straightaway. Nobody's going to give an inch here. Heading down into turn 3 and 4. Freddie the flagman has the white flag displayed this time around in the air for Aaron Evans and the Hooters number 48 modified. White flag is in the air for Aaron Evans. He'll take him down into turn 1 and 2 for the final time here in the heat race. Was scheduled for 20 laps. It's going to be a 25-lapper, though. Aaron Evans off the back straightaway for the final time. Aaron Evans down into the final straightaway for the final time off of turn 4. Checker flag is in the air. Aaron Evans will win the heat race here tonight, and it's a close one for third on back side by side. Nerf bar, but it's Aaron Evans with the victory here in the heat race win in the final race of the Dash for Cash at the Red, White, and Boom 100 at the Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to advance over to our 100-lap session here tonight, which is going to be absolutely jam-packed full of action. These guys are going to have to tone it down a bit, take care of one another, as 100 laps is way more than 20. That's down the back straightaway here, the Toyota inflated balloon. We're ready to go racing. Looks like we got 13 cars stacking out the field here tonight. Set for an absolute banger right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to want to miss a thing. Stick around right here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, the Richmond Raceway with a modified division coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to go racing here tonight, and this is what's on the line for the top 10 drivers in the point standings coming into Richmond. Ladies and gentlemen, we already know who's going to be the champion. We'll have more for that around the corner, as mathematically it's been locked up for about a week and a half now. So that first place position championship driver here tonight will receive $70 in the payout. 10th place will receive $5 for a total purse of about $200 between first and 10th place, being rewarded at the conclusion of the race here tonight at the Red, White, and Boom 100 for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Ladies and gentlemen, you see the pile line getting reset for the warm-up session here, getting ready to tackle on the 100-lapper here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite driver has been in town all week. The fan zone packed out. There's not an empty seat in the crowd. The lights are on. The sun is down. The beautiful Virginia mountains. We are set for 100 laps here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Payouts ready to go racing here tonight. Ready to go home with whoever deserves it. Here is the point standings coming in. Michael Johnson, the first ranked driver with a 70-point-plus lead. 3 wins on the regular season. 2 heat wins to throw along with it. 4 poles in 8 top 5s out of the 9 races ran this season. Patrick McPeak had a hell of a season as well. 6 top 5s. He'll look to add 1 more here tonight at Richmond. 1 pole, 2 heat race wins, and 2 wins as well underneath his belt with Zach Evans and Dylan Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute crazy season up to this point so far, and your favorite driver has tonight to get it done for more opportunities at a bigger chance at a payout for him and his team. We'll pull up tonight's starting grid. Zach Evans on the pole in this number 6 Me-Fine Modified. He'll lead them from Princeton, North Carolina. Michael Johnson will be on the outside of them. We'll get you down on the racetrack, let you meet your favorite drivers up close and personal here at the Richmond Raceway. On the front row, driving the number 6 Me-Fine Modified from Princeton, North Carolina, it's the mustache guy, Zach Evans. On the outside of him will be the number 40 Pacematic Modified Season 3 champion as of right now in the point standings, the number 40 of Michael Johnson. Starting in the 3rd place spot here tonight, driving the number 03 Modified from Denison, Texas, Dylan Thomas. Driving the number 48 from Crawfordsville, Indiana, it's the Hooters Modified of Aaron Evans. Driving the number 22 YouTube page Fabric Schaffner Machine from High Point, North Carolina, it's Chris Schaffner. Starting in the 27 machine here tonight, the Landrum, South Carolina driver, the Nurse Aviator. In the 4th place position, that's Adam Peeler. Winner of the heat race here tonight at Richmond from Crawfordsville, Indiana. Driving the 48 machine, it's going to be Aaron Evans. Driving the 72 Triple S Throckmorton Racing from South Boston, Virginia, the WHELEN Modified of Ace Throckmorton. Driving the 00 Modified here tonight from Middletown, New Jersey, that's the I-85 Asphalt Series most popular driver, Mike Doyle. Cody Klauser will shake out the Baltic, Connecticut, number 82 Eastport Modified, and he'll look to work his way up to the front of the field from the 9th place position. Starting in the 8th place position from Mount Airy, North Carolina, driving the number 61 Modified. Incident twice there in the opening laps of the heat race, Patrick McPeak. Josh Moore will shake out the number 919. Neil Rudd will shake out the number 66, with Nate Hall rounding out the number 18. Lights are off on top of the pace car. Maybe we will take another lap around here. Yes, we will. So, woo, had a scare there for a second. We'll pull up tonight's keys of the race. Want to know how to get around the Richmond Raceway? You're going to have to execute all night long here tonight in Virginia. Save those tires. The 3/4 mile racetrack tears them up here, and use that Nerf bar wisely. You do not want to damage the Modified early in tonight's run of a 100-lap race. Finally, cash out here tonight. The payouts are open. Whoever finishes in the top 10 in points at the end of tonight's season will receive the payout money. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how it's going to shake out. Are you ready to go racing here tonight in Virginia? Zach Evans on the front row. To his outside right will be Michael Johnson. Chris Schaffner will shake out the second row with Aaron Evans. They'll get the one to go racing this time around. Not a fan on their ass. Everybody standing on their feet, getting ready to go racing here tonight at the 3/4 mile racetrack for 100 laps for the 40-mile-per-hour pit lane, our track type D-shaped oval here tonight, folks. These guys are going to have a huge arc to take off of turn 4. 4 turns between 8 and 14 degrees of banking. Opened in 1946 at a grand price of $10,000. Peter the Pace Car bringing them to turn 3 and 4, getting ready to go racing for a 100-lap showdown for the red, white, and boom, celebrating 250 years of America. Peter the Pace Car just doesn't seem like he wants to come off the racetrack. We'll take at least one more lap around the racetrack. Holy cow, Peter. Peter wanting to get a part of the action here tonight inside of the modified event. We got 13 drivers shaking out the field. Peter wants to make it 14. 5 laps of caution, celebrating, I guess, 250 years of America. I'm not sure what we have going on right now. Confirmation that we will go green this time around the I-85 Asphalt Series red, white, and boom. Trying to get kicked off here in Virginia. The drivers need to patch it up. Getting ready to come through the restart zone. Peter the Pace Car hangs the lift down on the pit lane. You're getting ready to see some of the best short track racing on the YouTube page, on the iRacing platform. We're green in Richmond. Diving down into turns 1 and 2, side by side, Nerf bar the Nerf bar. They'll work off the exit of turn 2 and fly down the back straightaway. Michael Johnson has the race lead over Zach Evans, Chris Schaffner, Adam Peeler, Aaron Evans, the top 5 drivers as they head off the exit of turn 4 at Richmond. Josh Evans a little bit slow on the fire off right there on the restart, heading down into turn 1 and 2. Throckmorton on the inside of that Hooters machine of Aaron Evans, the night heat race winner. They're actually starting to go backwards. Patrick McPeak looking on the driver's left side of Ace Throckmorton. He'll look to make a move on this machine. Throckmorton got in trouble earlier hitting that yellow paint. He's going to have to try to fix it up here. He'll move back to the top side of the racetrack to try to avoid the yellow paint here tonight. Aaron Evans will move up a spot here to the 5th place position. Now on the outside, Chris Schaffner looks to try to get around the Nurse Aviator machine of Adam Peeler. They'll battle Nerf bar, the Nerf bar down here into turn 3 and 4 at the Richmond Raceway, side by side of the red, white, and boom 100. Heading across the front straightaway, D-shaped oval here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Chris Schaffner, Nerf bar, the Nerf bar, pulls up to the back bumper of Zach Evans. Michael Johnson has sailed away with a race lead, just like he sailed away with a points lead. Nerf bar shot right there from Chris Schaffner to the back of Zach Evans. He'll ship him up the racetrack here at Richmond, and they better thank God it's 4 lanes wide, because they're 4 wide across the front straightaway. Throckmorton across the front nose of Aaron Evans. He'll chop his nose down into turn 1 and 2. Throckmorton not giving an inch here tonight, not caring for who's around him, and Aaron Evans needs to put that one in the bank. And when he gets back to the back bumper of Ace Throckmorton, see how he wants to race him. Ace Throckmorton could care less about the drivers around him and the way that he's been racing here in the opening laps of the red, white, and boom 100, but we cannot red, white, and blame him. Head down on the bottom side, Patrick McPeak wants a shot at the top 5 spot. He'll pull Nerf bar, the Nerf bar with Zach Evans. Working lap number 6 here at the Richmond Raceway, side by side. Now Chris Schaffner slides from the bottom to the top side of the racetrack, looking for an opportunity to try to fall in line in front of this Mike Doyle machine. Mike Doyle's going to have to be patient in the 00 machine here tonight. He knows that there's of laps to go. Got about 92 laps to go this time around, and these guys aren't going to spare each other an inch. Zach Evans and this 6 machine is starting to fall backwards, but we've seen this before out of this number 6 of Zach Evans from Princeton, North Carolina. Zach Evans attends from time to time his race strategy to fall backwards early, save a little bit of Hoosier rubber in case we get the long green flag runs like we have all year long. It'll come back to you. You'll be able to run down the guys in front of you. Loving the single file that we have here tonight at the Richmond Raceway for the red, white, and boom, indicating that these drivers understand how there is a long race ahead of them. 0 sets of tires on the race cars. You're going to have to hold on to the Hoosiers here early so you can manage them late in tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're single file, I think it's only right we get you down on the racetrack for tonight's first I-85 Asphalt Series Fast and Loud. Welcome back here on the WHELEN Racing Channel, cranking it up fast and loud at the Richmond Raceway. These drivers absolutely going at it. We were watching Chris Schaffner beat the back bumper off of Mike Doyle there underneath that fast and loud. And this front half, 7 drivers, have separated themselves big time from Zach Evans. But Zach Evans looks like he was trying to manage a little bit of Hoosier tire on the long run over Aaron Evans. No relation between these two Evans guys. We got 2 separate packs running away with it here at the Richmond Raceway. A train of modified, 7 of them running it around here. You can throw a blanket over for the race lead. We'll kind of try to work this playoff system down, kind of work this postseason, how the regular season had been and went down, try to get you introduced to some of these drivers as we work lap number 17 of 100 here tonight. 82 laps to go the next time around. Michael Johnson leads them here at the Richmond Raceway in his number 40 Pacematic Modified. Michael Johnson has been badass all year long. He's been super fast in the modifieds. He's actually stole a win 2 weeks ago. He didn't lead but 2 laps, but he'll take the 2 laps and take the trophy home with him. He's absolutely had a dominating season so far up to this point. Michael Johnson has 3 wins on the regular season for his number 40 team. He is mathematically locked as the champion here tonight for season 3. He just needed to show up and finish the race. Michael Johnson instead is out front leading laps, taking care of business. The trophy for sure going to go home with Michael Johnson. The guy behind him, though, Adam Peeler, has shown his nose here in the recent weeks on the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division. Adam Peeler, talked to him earlier in the garage area. He said this was the first time he ever ran any kind of iRacing league when it came to short track racing and modifieds. And now he looks on the inside of Michael Johnson for the race lead down into turn 3 and 4. They'll battle the Nerf bar off the exit of 4, heading across the front straightaway. The 27 on the inside. To the driver's right goes the number 40 of Michael Johnson. They'll both dive down into turn 1 and 2. Johnson will lift early. He'll roll the momentum on the outside. He'll get the run down the back straightaway. Adam Peeler is going to have to look better at it here. Think about how many laps is left, but he's going to fight back down into turn 3. Side by side for the race lead here at Richmond. Nobody's going to give an inch here when they get the opportunity. We told you earlier, folks, if you started to get pulled away from the driver in front of you, be patient. The draft was going to help out. This could be one of two or many different things here. Is Adam Peeler maybe pushing a little bit harder than Michael Johnson, maybe showing his hand here early, trying to get Michael Johnson to see how he will react here on the long run as we pick off lap number 23 consecutively here. Knock on the wood. We don't want to jinx it here. Battle for the race lead, though, really gets Michael Johnson looking in the mirror. Adam Peeler's going to have an opportunity here in the next 5 or so laps at that back bumper one more time. How does he elect to make the move after knowing how Michael Johnson's going to defend it? Patrick McPeak's going to have to find an opportunity here. We've seen him all year long battle back and forth with that number 40 of Michael Johnson. 61 of Patrick McPeak coming all the way from out there in North Carolina. Was a relatively short trip here to Richmond for him tonight in this modified team. He'll look on the inside, take a peek at the 27's left rear nerf bar, but he'll think better of it out of turn 4. Slide it up the racetrack. 3 wide almost between these guys. You can throw a blanket over the top 7 drivers. The back driver back there is the YouTube page, number 22 machine of Chris Schaffner. You can look on the side of that modified YouTube page. Fabric Schaffner, Neil Rutt, a look on the inside of the 72 of Ace Throckmorton. Neil Rutt, the 3rd commissioner here in the I-85 Asphalt Series, co-owner of the WHELEN Modified Division. Out on the field here tonight, he's got his number 66 Allied Board and Safety Modified on the track, trying to tune it in for Wall Stadium this weekend with an NASCAR short track regional event in New Jersey. Neil Rutt III has a win underneath his belt. He took the win at the Milwaukee Mile here in the I-85 Asphalt Series as a part-time driver. Adam Peeler made a move earlier over Michael Johnson, had him keep it, and Michael Jonas, Johnson had to keep him honest. That's what I'm trying to say. The Red, White, and Boone 100 works lap 27. Patrick McPeak now has a mirror full of a 66 Neil Rutt III. Ace Throckmorton has a devious Mike Doyle planting a move over the back bumper here in the next closing laps. We'll see how things work out between these two drivers. The I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division is one of 2 different series that takes place here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, with the late model stock division rounding out their final race tomorrow night here live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be at the Martinsville Speedway. We'll be at the Paperclip tomorrow night right here in Virginia. So just make sure you book a hotel if you're here at the Modifieds and make your way on over to Martinsville tomorrow night. It's going to be one hell of a show. We'll scoot back here to the next group of drivers, trying to slow down the guys in front of them. And this could be one of 2 different things, just like we were talking about earlier. Could this be a strategy call from this number 6 machine of Zach Evans? He's dropped down from the pole sitting position here tonight to the 8th place spot. We're only working lap 30, 70 laps to go here in the Red, White, and Boom 100. Zach Evans is known for saving the Hoosier tire on the long run. We can keep this green flag run going right here. Zach Evans may have an opportunity to try to drive down the guys in front of him, just depending on how hard they are racing each other. 3 seconds separate the 8th and 7th place driver, Chris Schaffner, back here to the number 6 machine of Zach Evans. Behind him goes Aaron Evans, Cody Klauser, and Josh Moore. Dylan Thomas working his way back out on the racetrack. Dylan Thomas was suspended from tomorrow night's late model stock race for the actions taken during the caution flag at the conclusion of the late model stocks 2 weeks ago. He has appealed his suspension. He will race tomorrow night in the conclusion of the season finale of the late model stock division. Nate Hall almost went around earlier, had a flat tire. They were able to fix the damage on this weekend. Woodsman number 18 machine from Landrum, South Carolina. Hasn't been the season that Nate Hall was looking for on the long run, though. Here he's losing touch to the back half of the group and trailing in the distance right behind him. Michael Johnson works his way down into turn 3 and 4, slowly emerging over the back bumper of lap traffic here soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll step away 35 laps into tonight's Red, White, and Boom 100. Michael Johnson leads them here with Adam Peeler trailing them right behind them in the distance. Patrick McPeak, Neil Rutt, the top 4 drivers. They'll battle it out here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll throw up the battle box. We'll be back in just a moment. You won't miss a thing with the side-by-side cam. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, watching the battle box up on our cam underneath the commercial break. This is the battle for the first place position. It's led by Michael Johnson in the number 40 Pacematic Modified. Right behind him is Adam Peeler. Trailing in the third place spot goes the orange and black machine of Patty McPeak, Neil Rutt, the third, trails right there in the red, white, and blue, number 66. WHELEN Modified. 60 laps to go in the red, white, and boom 100. That's the top four drivers. Schaffner rounds out the top five, followed by Mike Doyle. Ace Throckmorton. Zach Evans shakes out the 8th place position, followed by Aaron Evans and Cody Klauser. Dylan Thomas will shake out the 11th place spot, followed by Josh Moore in the 12th place spot. Nate Hall getting a little loose off turn 2. He'll take the 13th place spot. Battles all over the racetrack right now between several different groups of drivers. We got one starting to brew right here between devious Mike Doyle and Ace Throckmorton. We'll keep our eyes here on this battle. Ace Throckmorton's not going to move over for Mike Doyle, but the South Service Center 00 appears to be just a smidge bit faster when he rolls the top lane, and Mike Doyle chops the nose off of Ace Throckmorton out of the exit of turn 2. Throckmorton has to hold on to the race car, gets a little bit tight. He'll dive back down on the inside of the 00. They'll actually go Nerf bar out of turn 4. These two drivers right here don't have a history, but contact made earlier between the two. So how much do you forgive and forget early into tonight's event? You see the two different I-85 Asphalt Series banners between these two drivers. Sparks flying off the Nerf bars between these two folks. That's why you have to love short track racing underneath the lights. You can really see the sparks, the flames, and the glowing rotors on the brake pads and on these modifieds. These drivers not going to give an inch. Mike Doyle gets roughed up here late. He'll lose the 7th place spot to Throckmorton. Neil Rutt starting to shake some things up here at Richmond. He'll move to the inside of Patrick McPeak and score the 3rd place spot. 45 laps into tonight's event. This is the battle for the race lead, folks. Adam Peeler trying to keep Michael Johnson honest. Michael Johnson sailed away to about a 1.5-second lead earlier to kick off tonight's Red, White, and Boom 100. Adam Peeler has chased him down here in the midway part of the event. Can Michael Johnson continue to pick off steady lap times? Mike Doyle trying to get back around Ace Throckmorton here midway. Aaron Evans trying to run down Zach Evans. Zach Evans actually starting to come back into the picture here and touch the 7th place driver. He's fell back earlier to about a midway, about 2-3 second gap difference between him and the 7th place driver. That gap has now shrinking, folks, to about a 8/10 difference here tonight. Zach Evans set back early here in tonight's event, trying to save a little bit of Hoosier rubber. He's starting to work his way back up through the field. Behind him, Aaron Evans went back as well at the same time as this number 6 machine did. Does he know the pit strategy here? No relation between the two Evans boys, but it's almost kind of monkey see, monkey do inside of the field here. Look at Schaffner loose off turn 2. As tire wear begins to come into effect, how are these drivers going to elect to play it? Zach Evans has now entered into the chat of the battle box here between Mike Doyle and Ace Throckmorton. The battle for the 6th place position. Chris Schaffner nears the way in the head of a distance, about 2, 3, maybe 4 car lengths ahead of the 6th place spot, of Ace Throckmorton. Single wide, four in a row for the halfway lap. This time around, led by Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson putting on a hell of a show here tonight. The Pacematic Modified has led 50 laps. He's led everyone here tonight. Adam Peeler right behind him. Some great racing going on here in the Red, White, and Boom 100, celebrating 250 years of America this year in 2026. Zach Evans has officially moved his way up to the 7th place spot, and the march up from here continues. Zach Evans will have to try to work around the rest of the guys in front of him. He can see the race leaders throughout that windshield of that number 6 modified, and he's got well over 50 laps he's got about 49 laps to do it and get it done. I think it's plenty, as he's set back for about 50 of those laps. So what we've done already, double that. He'll have to come back around here and try to make something shake. Neil Rutt III came from the back half of the field. He started tonight's race here. We did not want to bring up the leader's lap time. We wanted to bring up start position. He started in the 13th place spot. He has worked his way up to the 3rd place spot. He'll look over the right rear Nerf bar, of Adam Peeler. He wants another spot around this 27 Nurse Aviator machine, working down into turn 3 and 4, ladies and gentlemen, side by side for the 2nd place spot. Neil Rutt, Adam Peeler, door to door, Nerf bar to Nerf bar, wheel to wheel. You can have it however you like it. Off of turn 2, Peeler fights back on the outside as Neil Rutt gets a tad bit loose. Fighting the handling on that 66 machine. These two friends off the racetrack, but on the racetrack, maybe never. Adam Peeler's not even going to try to attempt to shoot down on the bottom side of the racetrack and make Neil Rutt play defense. Rutt will have to move back into the 2nd place spot, gather up the race car once more. Side by side here comes Dylan Thomas from the 03 machine from downtown, way deep in the field. He's caught up to Aaron Evans in the 8th place spot. He'll look to try to make the move around the 8th place position. Dylan Thomas will look to try to make quick work of Aaron Evans, and he'll slide across the front nose, and almost a caution flag right there. 56 laps underneath the green flag conditions, working on the inside. Cody Clouser has a devious Mike Doyle. Nerf bar to Nerf bar and wheel to wheel off of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Clouser able to defend his spot back here into turn 3 and 4. 40 laps to go here soon. Patrick McPeak, Adam Peeler starting to go backwards here. Lose touch to the front 2 drivers. You see the gaps forming. Neil Rutt trying to keep it honest here. He's got Michael Johnson right in front of him. Michael Johnson peeking at the mirror every other lap or so, just trying to make sure that he's doing everything possible. He's listening to the radio, getting feedback from his team. His team telling him you need to be patient here on the long run. We still have 40 laps to go. Tons of racing left to go here tonight at Richmond. We've been caution-free. If it continues to trend in the way that we are going, he's going to catch us. But you need to save now and not hold on. Try to use this lap traffic and get around it quick. Those were the radio communications from the Michael Johnson machine telling him to make quick work of the lap traffic in front of him. Excuse me, he's in the 1st place position. That lap traffic machine is Josh Moore in the 919. The 919 will get off of the racetrack and allow the lead lap cars to go right around him. Some respectful racing from Josh Moore. Here's Mike Doyle. Works his way down onto the racetrack from Middletown, New Jersey. He'll come down on the pit lane. Issues for Mike Doyle midway through. Issues midway through for Mike Doyle here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. He has parked that modified down into the pit lane. We will try to get an updated story there on that 00 machine. Devious Mike Doyle out of the race car here, lap number 60, inside of the red, white, and boom. And it's been just that. The fireworks starting to explode here midway. 62, you see the sparks off the wall. Michael Johnson starting to get loose off turn 2. Michael Johnson gets loose off turn 2 in that Pacematic gold and orange modified. He's actually able to hold the bottom line down the back straightaway, which kept Neil Rutt honest. Neil Rutt looks like he's setting up for a pass on the inside, but Michael Johnson kind of shades halfway down the back straightaway and closes off the bottom lane late into the corner. He kind of slides up a little bit, gets a good exit, and Neil Rutt tries to fight back. Adam Peeler just looking out the roll bar of his machine, seeing these two guys battle out in front of him. It almost makes you wonder, do you want to be as close as Adam Peeler is now? Adam Peeler kind of keeping up a safe distance. He's got about a car length, maybe 2, between him and the 2nd place driver, Neil Rutt to 3rd. Whether that's by design or just off of pure speed, that is well beyond my pay grade. Adam Peeler, though, definitely has some room in case these two front drivers make contact and run each other over here at Richmond. Neil Rutt III wants the race lead here on the 4th of July weekend of the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Dash for Cash final race of the season. Michael Johnson fights back on the outside, but he's in the outside wall. But he's still on the Nerf bar of Neil Rutt. No room for Rutt to clear into turn 4. Rutt slide jobs out of turn 4 across the front nose of Michael Johnson. He's able to clear himself down into turn 1. Slide job here, the Richmond Raceway. It comes off the back bumper of the Allied Board and Safety 66 machine of Neil Rutt. Michael Johnson over the back bumper there. He'll lose the race lead, and he'll be chasing his first rabbit of the night. And it's kind of similar to me when I'm out there on the racetrack. I need a rabbit to chase. That's how some of these drivers really roll. You kind of need a guy in front of you to kind of set the pace, and you can work around him from there, kind of make moves for the race lead, maybe let him burn his stuff up on the long run. But in the distance, here comes the I-85 modified. Top 5 spot already for the Princeton, North Carolina driver. Has Zach Evans done enough? We've kept up with the story all night long. Zach Evans started on the pole here tonight in the first place position. Dropped back to the 8th place spot here, trying to save a little bit of Hoosier rubber on the starting run of tonight's event. He wasn't expecting it to go green flag all the way this far, but it has, and it's probably going to pay benefits to Zach Evans. We'll check lap times that last time around compared to the leaders. Zach Evans 21.375 to Neil Rutt's 21.420, so not too far bad off. Zach Evans still has a lot more racing to go. He needs to save a little bit more. Neil Rutt, the third for MND Motorsports, putting on a show here, driving from the back half of the field, looking for his second win on the modified season as a part-time driver. Michael Johnson in the second place spot. He's on the inside quarter panel now. That's Adam Peeler wanting second over Michael Johnson. Nobody's sparing an inch. Nobody going to move over for anybody here tonight. Closing laps now, 29 laps to go. Dylan Thomas set back earlier in tonight's event for Southern Sim Racing, sponsored by MND Motorsports. Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas, working his way, trying to slap up to the top 5. Ace Throckmorton down on the pit lane in the number 72 machine, and not entirely sure what's going on with that machine. We are hearing word from the pit crew right now that the 00 of Mike Doyle, blown right front tire on the 00, 60 laps into tonight's event. It has bent the tie rod inside of the right front. Mike Doyle's night will be retired here at Richmond. We are still waiting on confirmation from Ace Throckmorton on maybe what has went wrong inside of that machine. Josh Moore still cutting laps out here on the racetrack. 10 modifieds shake out the field. 26 laps to go. The battle for the race lead starting to dissipate. Neil Rutt the third, pulling away with it over Michael Johnson, Adam Peeler, and Patrick McPeak. Whoa, Michael Johnson loose down the back straightaway. He's in the outside wall, but he's able to hold on to it. Patrick McPeak rolls around him. He's up into the third place spot. Patrick McPeak stayed quiet here in the feature after the contact there in the heat race. Does he have a little bit of Hoosier rubber left to play with? 25 laps to go to try to run down Neil Rutt. A second separates second and first here at Richmond. Zach Evans has started to catch up to the front half guys, and seeing those guys battle out in front of him is exactly what he wanted. We'll check the leader's lap time compared to his, a 21.442 for Zach Evans to a 21.517 of Neil Rutt. Zach Evans has played the strategy perfect here tonight. Does he have enough time left? 23 laps to go in Richmond. "23 laps to go at Richmond, and it is still anybody's ball game, and we are racing, heading down the Toyota back straightaway. Patrick McPeak glances on the inside nerf bar of the 27 of Adam Peeler, but it's not enough. Can he keep his foot in it? No, he has to slide back to the back bumper and re-enter to the draft down into turn 1 and 2. Michael Johnson hits that outside safer barrier, goes backwards. Josh Moore, the lap traffic, will move out of the groove of the racetrack for the lead lap drivers. Respectfully for the 919, Aaron Evans working his way slowly, so is Dylan Thomas. Zach Evans closely merging over the back bumper of fourth place driver Michael Johnson, who is wheel to wheel, nerf bar to nerf bar with Adam Peeler in the third place spot. coming around to complete lap number 80 here tonight in the red, white, and boom 100 at the Richmond Raceway. Caution free so far up to this point. Knock on wood, do not want to jinx it here tonight. 20 laps to go. Michael Johnson trailing behind in the 4th place spot, was just wheel to wheel with Adam Peeler, but he'll lose that momentum hitting that outside wall. Zach Evans needs to be patient here. 20 laps to go. He's probably got one of the better modifieds on the track right now. Heading across the line, we'll check the lap times. 21.46 to a 21.49 of Neil Rutt. So Neil Rutt able to hold him contentiously here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel from Union Beach, New Jersey. He'll head across turn 4. He'll see 18 laps to go. Here, Neil Rutt really deep into turn 1 and 2 there inside of the throttle. Patrick McPeak has scooted up to the 2nd place spot. He will have about 18 laps to try to run down Neil Rutt with a less than 1 second gap between the two drivers. 16 laps to go. The next time around, we'll check the leader's lap time compared to Patrick's. 21.488 for Patty. 21.49 for Neil Rutt the third. They're almost dead even off turn 2. Zach Evans, for the first time in pretty much a while here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. He has an opportunity to make a pass around another driver. Been trying to run down the front half group on better sets of tires, but trying to run down the group is really even out the tires between him and the guys in front of him. We'll check the lap times, and he's about a 10th faster than the leader, Neil Rutt, but he's got to work around Michael Johnson here late. The thing about Michael Johnson, though, what Michael Johnson needs to remember here in this number 40 machine is that Michael Johnson has the championship locked up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel's I-85 Asphalt Series. He's led the most laps here tonight. He will take home those bonus points as well, so he knows that he will be the Season 3 champion here. He just needs to get it to the checkered flag. Does he allow Zach Evans to get around? Neil Rutt the third, looking in the mirror, seeing that lead start to shrink to the back bumper goes Patrick McPeak. This Nelson Roofing 61 machine trying everything possible. Adjusting down on the brake bias dial, trying everything. Zach Evans with a tremendous save off turn 2. He'll look to the inside of the Michael Johnson machine. Adam Peeler starting to impede and slow up the traffic here. 13 laps to go at Richmond. Working the dash for cash. Race number 10 here tonight. The payouts right around the corner after this. You needed to be top 10 in points to receive a payout at the conclusion of the checkered flag. This is how it runs out. If you were first in the point standings, which we know will be Michael Johnson at this point in time, he will receive the $70 payout in the t-shirt. But there is still money to be raced for. From second on back, the point standings was about 8 gap point difference between 3rd and 10th. It's anybody's ball game late. Trying to climb up the point standings. Adam Peeler trying to defend his 3rd place spot. But here comes Zach Evans. He'll make quick work around Michael Johnson into turn 2. Johnson will slap the outside safer barrier. We'll see 10 laps to go here at the Richmond Raceway. Zach Evans slowly but fastly moves over the back bumper. He'll close up about a car length or so over the back bumper of Adam Peeler. Does he make the move quick and early here to get around the 27 machine? Patrick McPeak slowly cutting into the lead. We'll check the leader's lap time. 21.4 for Patty. 21.5 for Neil Rutt. Some amazing racing going on here tonight. 91 laps completed in a row underneath the green flag conditions. It has been one respectful race here tonight. The fans stacked out for the final race here in Season 3 for the I-85 Asphalt Series, and they have been treated with an absolute banger of a race here tonight. Zach Evans trying to get every point possible to climb up the standings in the pay ranks. He'll look over the back bumper of Adam Peeler, but Patrick McPeak loses a little bit that last time around through turn 2 to the back bumper of Neil Rutt III, who'll come around and see 7 laps to go at Richmond. Neil Rutt the third will take it down into turns 1 and 2 here at the Richmond Raceway with Patrick McPeak trailing in the distance. Zach Evans closes up big time through turn 2, and that looks like where his modified appears to be just a smidge bit better than Adam Peeler's 27 Red Apple Ale machine. Heading off the exit of 4, Adam Peeler loses ground right there to Zach Evans out of turn 4. Does Zach Evans look to make the move down here in the turn 1? Peeler will dive down low here in the Red, White, and Boom 100, seeing 6 laps to go. Patrick McPeak, Neil Rutt the third, the top 2 drivers. 5 laps to go at the world's most famous 3/4 mile short track in America, located right here in Virginia, the Richmond Raceway. Home to some of the greatest racing over time. Dylan Thomas wants a top 5 over Michael Johnson, wheel to wheel, nerf farther, nerf forward, 5 laps to go. Johnson to the driver's right. Thomas slide jobs him out of turn 4. 4 laps remaining. The 0-3 of Dylan Thomas will move himself up to the top 5 position after falling back, saving a little bit of tire. Zach Evans gets around Adam Peeler. He'll make it move for the 3rd place podium spot. What a run here tonight for Zach Evans. Don't look like he's going to have enough laps remaining here tonight in the scheduled distance to try to run down the race leader in Neil Rutt at 3rd and Patrick McPeak. That's if Adam Peeler don't get him back first. He'll work back up turn 2, fighting hard here, Richmond. But Neil Rutt the third will head off turn 4, and he'll see 2 laps to go here in Virginia. Zach Evans, Adam Peeler head across the line as the 3rd and 4th place positions. Dylan Thomas will have the 5th place spot. But Neil Rutt will take it down the back straightaway here. He'll look to come see the white flag this time around. Neil Rutt, a part-time driver here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Part owner, co-admin, race control during most weeks. Makes a start here tonight, drives up from the back of the field. Patrick McPeak's just not going to have enough here late. One hell of a season for Patrick. But heading down into turn 3 and 4 for the final time here in season 3 in the Wheelen Modified Division, ruthless Neil Rutt will score victory at Richmond. What a race here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Caution-free, no incidents here in the main event portion part of tonight's event. 100 lapper belongs to Neil Rutt in the 66 machine. He'll spoil the points party here tonight, which will really shake up the points money. We'll see how it works out. Michael Johnson mathematically will be the season 3 champion here in the Wheelen Modified. He'll pull around on the front straightaway, but it's ruthless Neil Rutt going to bring it around here. He'll have to burn it down for the fans. Michael Johnson, the season 3 champion, he'll wait for his moment, Neil Rutt, and give Neil Rutt his to celebrate on the front straightaway with the fans. What a performance there by Neil Rutt, able to drive from the back of the field to run down the front half group. The 66 wins it here at Richmond. Michael Johnson will be your season 3 champion here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. His first ever inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. The Pacematic Modified dominated the point series all season long. He won't grab the win here tonight, but the trophy and the $70 payout and the t-shirt combo will go home with Michael Johnson here tonight at Richmond as he burns it down for you fans on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Michael Johnson says, get a glimpse of it. It's going to be all over town. Victory lane for the champion here in season 3, but it's Neil Rutt III winning it all here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. When it's all said and done, they'll pull up nose to nose here at Richmond for a beautiful shot. The race winner and the champion here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Neil Rutt III puts on one hell of a show. And ladies and gentlemen, as these drivers wait to get to their preferred spot as somebody hits the backside wall right there, we will be back here in just a moment on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the post-race show. We'll have all your favorite drivers and the rest of that right around the corner. Booty Scoot Racing Channel live at the Richmond Raceway. We are post-race edition here tonight for the final race of Season 3, where Neil Rutt III has just brought home the victory here tonight in front of the Virginia crowd. It was one hell of a show from the number 66 machine. He'll drive up from the back half spot on the field to score the victory. And as Neil Rutt loads into the garage area for the interview here tonight, we will see if we cannot get him into the broadcast booth as we shake in the race winner here tonight, driver the number 66. Red, white, and blue this week. Neil in an awesome, dominating performance, able to drive from the back of the field to the front half to win it. What an awesome race here tonight, caution-free for the whole field.
Yeah, I love this place. This is where I debuted in I-85 two or three seasons ago. I came here for another 100 lapper at the beginning, and got out front and did pretty much what we did here tonight. Obviously came through the field on this one, but love this place in the modifieds. I was happy to bring out the red, white, and blue Allied Fire and Safety modified here. Think it came out pretty cool. I wish I was able to be a part of these races every week. I love this group of guys that we got here. Everyone, treats each other with respect, and that's all that matters to me. Like I said, I hope down the road we can continue doing this, and if not, we could at least do it for these guys that show up for us every single week. These guys are the class of the field. Like I said, have much respect for all of them. Appreciate all of them for being here every single week. Put on a great show.
It was an awesome race here tonight, caution-free. The 66 was bad fast there in the feature run. Just sucks you're probably not going to be able to get a payout out of it because 2 wins on this year. But it was a hell of a race here tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank on top of this 66 machine, and a great season here in Season 3.
Yeah, screw the money. It's all about stacking up the win totals. That's all that matters to me. Should have had 3 for our 3 debuts, but, stuff happened at Langley, so it happens. But I'd like to thank, obviously, you for putting this on. You for putting this on all season, being a big part of this. Obviously, we came together with trying to change things and make things better. Obviously, we made one of the things 100% better, which is always a good sign. Allied Fire and Safety, Borbeck Race Engines, my M&D guys, M&D, Motorsports. One of the biggest teams you'll probably see on the esports channel out here with 9 people. For series that only have like 15 to 20 cars, so I love all those guys. Love being a part of these guys, and love running here. I enjoy it. I enjoy coming here every other week. Either it's race controlling, broadcasting, or just spotting for someone. It's just I love this group of guys, and it's great. It's good group to be around.
We appreciate it. That's Neil Rutt, winner here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. He'll go 2 for 3 here in Season 3 on his starts. Great race here tonight, Neil.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate it. That's the driver, the number 66 of Neil Rutt III. He'll win the race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. We'll scoot back here to the second place driver of the number 61, Patrick McPeak. It's Patrick McPeak. We try to slide him in here into the broadcast booth. The number 61 of Patrick McPeak joins us here at Richmond. Patrick, great race here tonight. Thought you maybe had a chance to. Seen you save a little bit of tire there midway portion part through the race to try to have an opportunity for it late. Just kind of walk us through your event all around here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. It does look like you will finish in the second place point standing spot, bringing home a nice payday for your team. Kind of walk us through it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm happy that AF1 walked away with the championship. And this race was actually really, really good. And I thought it was going to be a bad turnout for me, but it actually worked in my favor just a little bit. I just started watching how Neil Rutt was running his line and how he was conserving and cruising. So I just followed him and followed his line much of my abilities, but sometimes the car got a little bit tighter. The car was not really set up to run his line. But very tickled on how our 61 Grit Steel Structure Chevy actually did a good job today and started 8th and made it all the way up to 2nd. So you can't beat that. So top 5 again is another win for me. And plus AF1 walks away with the championship and the team championship. So I'm very tickled about that. And hopefully hopefully if there's another season next time, hopefully it might be me with the championship trophy and also have AF1 walk away with the team championship again.
It was a great race here tonight from you, Patrick. You had a hell of a season, 2 wins on the regular season, 3 heat wins. Just kind of walk us through the etiquette. 100 laps here tonight, caution free. That's what it takes as a group to make one of these things go around. You guys put on a hell of a show here tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank on top of this 61 as well?
Yes, I got to thank Grizzly Steel Structures, RYR Engines, SP Tools, and need to thank Megawatt Electric, AF1 Racing, and I got to thank the COO, Logan Santich. He's also the Grizzly Steel Structure sponsor, but he's been a hell of a team leader, trying to show up best he can of his abilities, and just doing a hell of a job with the team. And also got to thank the love of my life, Tabby. She's got my back 110% and always tells me when I need to have a calm head when I come into these races. And I got to thank my mom and dad for being my biggest supporters, because no matter if it's on real life racing or virtual, they're going to have my back and support me the best of their abilities. So, damn good win, damn good race. Can't beat it. I'm stoked right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and get off of here and race some hell.
Hell yeah, that's Patrick McPeak. He'll bring home the $35 reward here for the second points in the standings, ladies and gentlemen. The driver of the 61, Patrick McPeak, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's Patrick McPeak, driver of the number 61 here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll scoot down here to the third place driver. Driver of this Me Fine Modified, the number 6 of Zach Evans. Zach Evans had one hell of a season, one hell of a race here tonight, and it almost worked out for him when it was all said and done as he joins us in the booth. The number 6 Modified of Zach Evans. Zach, we talked the storyline all night tonight from the drop of the green flag. We seen you fall back, maybe had a chance to drive up there to the front, and when it comes to strategy, it fell right into your lap. Caution free here tonight. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I probably overdid it a little bit. Let too many guys by, gave up too much time. I was definitely there with about 30 or 40 to go. I thought I was in a really good spot based on the time I was eating away towards the leaders, but I just had to use up too much passing a couple of guys. Not anything they did wrong, they're racing, they're defending their position. It was too many cars, and I had to use up too much to get around them, and kind of just evened out right there at P3, and that was about all I had. I wasn't gonna. We used up everything we had to get to P3, but overall, pretty happy with a P3 finish in the season, especially with the update to the car a few weeks ago. Still feel like I'm trying to figure this car out all over again, to be entirely honest. I've done some laps here and in other series. I'm still not quite figured it out. It's close. It's similar to how it used to be, but there's just enough different that I'm still feel like I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball. So we'll take a P3 here to close out the season. I can't complain about 100 laps green flag at Richmond. How about, obviously congrats to Neil on the win, congrats to Michael on the championship, but how about old DT without a caution driving from pit road to P5? That was pretty cool. A lot of MND cars parked here on the front stretch. Pretty good way to wrap up the season here.
It was a great race here tonight. We were cheering on this number 6 Me Fine Modified. You had a hell of a race here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. You'll bring home the 3rd place spot, and you were already scheduled 3rd in the standings. So it was really close between you and Patrick, but Patrick finishing in front of you is going to leave you in that 3rd place standings point. So just kind of walk us through how your season turned around all together. $25 payout reward here tonight for the 6th team. So you'll at least make your money back plus some. Kind of walk us through it.
Oh, that's awesome. And obviously, it was a lot of fun battling with Patrick and Michael all season long. I know that Michael probably would have gotten it anyway, but obviously the one race that me and Patrick missed really put the nail in the coffin for sure. But still a great battle between us for 2nd all season long. A lot of fun. And not just points-wise, but there were a lot of times we were around each other on the racetrack, and it was always good, hard, fair racing. Super excited to come away with P3 in the points. We'll be donating that $25 to MeFine. So excited about that. Obviously, always proud to have them on the race car here. And shout out to Binks Designs, MND, 4D Racewear, everybody else has been a part of this. And Hopefully we can go make some more money to donate to Me-Fi tomorrow night at Martinsville.
And we appreciate it. That's Zach Evans. You can catch him here live again tomorrow night on the Booty Scoot Racing channel at the pay-per-click for the late model stock division. We appreciate you, Zach.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. That's the number 6 of Zach Evans, driver of the Me-Fi Modified P3 here tonight. We'll scoot down to the 4th place position, driver of the number 27 of Adam Peeler. One hell of a race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. He'll slide us into the broadcast booth. The Nurse Aviator joins us here tonight. The 27 was bad fast here, Adam. Top 2, pretty much the whole race there into the back half of the race. Just started getting physical. We've seen you try to peek a move on Michael Johnson for the race lead. Just couldn't quite get it. Kind of walk us through your race here tonight.
Yeah, how about that, man? 100 laps, green flag. I don't know what more you could really ask for. That was a blast. Running top 4, top 2, like you said, most of the night was a blast. I was kind of riding there behind Michael for a while, and I have finished in every position you can between this series and the late model series in I-85, but I haven't got a win, and that's driving me absolutely insane. I've given some away and done some dumb stuff, and the fact that I haven't got one is really starting to bother me. So I tried to pass him a couple times because I think I was faster than him, but I just burnt the tires up in those 3 or 4 attempts or whatever it was that I tried to get by him. So towards the end of the run, I didn't have much left. I got the tire warning with like 5 or 6 laps to go. I usually drop to the back and do the big tire save thing, but I was so comfortable tonight that I was just going to give it my all, and like I said, try to finally get that win. But dude, that was a blast. I mean, jokingly, I was telling Michael, I said, I don't think the reason I couldn't pass you is because when I was just running, I didn't use the brake. I let the car roll. I didn't have to trail brake or anything like that to turn the car. But when I had to pass him or try to pass him and pin it on the bottom, I had to use the brake. And I was out of my rhythm at that point, right? Trying to do something a little bit different. So I could never complete it. That sucks, but dude, top 4, last race of the season. God, I hope this continues in some way, shape, or form. This racing on Monday nights is everything that anybody could ever want on iRacing. The group of people that we race with, the events, the cars, the broadcast, I mean, the whole thing. And that's a test to everybody who puts this stuff on. I know the late models this season have not been the best on Tuesdays, and I get that. But I mean, last season the late models were just as good as the modifieds, right? So I've done it, 4 full seasons now, and 3 of the 4 have all been bangers and just so much fun to drive and so much fun to be a part of. So did find out on Saturday that I'm having a baby girl, so that'll be cool, and we'll get ready for her to come December, but hopefully something, shape, or form is around for the next season that can kick off before December, so I can get 1 full season in me before I gotta hang it up to bring in the new baby for a little while. But I will be back, whether it's this season or the next season, or if I gotta take some time off and get the baby going, and as soon as she's good to go and sleeping all night, I'll be back again, because this stuff's too much fun to let it go.
We appreciate you, Adam. You came here tonight scheduled in the 7th place points paying spot, and behind Ace Throckmorton, you'll finish well above Throckmorton, so you'll jump above him in the point standings. That'll put you 5th finishing on the regular season. That'll reward you a $14 payout, so an awesome season for you on the regular season in here tonight. Great race, 100 lapper, like you said, caution free. You can't ask for anything better.
No, and I'll take that. I mean, I missed a race for a family vacation. So missed a race, still finished top 5 in points. That sounds like a win to me, brother. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. That's Adam Peeler, the Nurse Aviator, driver of the number 27 here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We will scoot down here to the 5th place runner-up driver here tonight. It'll be downtown Dylan Thomas in this 03 machine. We'll scoot him up here into the broadcast booth, and as Dylan joins us into the booth. Dylan, a great race here tonight for your 03 team. Is You were the topic of most of the year. You came into the LA Coliseum. You made your name notice in a note quick. You led over 100 laps at the Coliseum. Put your name down. Let these guys know that you are not to be messed with. You ran up front pretty much the whole season. Tonight we see you try that tire saving strategy. You were in the favor of it, just didn't have enough there in the end. Kind of walk us through your season here tonight at the Richmond Raceway and all together.
I actually thought there was 2 heat races and stepped away and came back and saw him miss a start. I had to start from the pits, so that's why I decided I'd just ride behind. And I think I was 7 or 8 seconds back at one point. Somehow saved enough and picked the right time to fire the tires and get back up through there. But it was a fun year. I hope to do it again. This has been a fun group of guys. We had a little trouble there at the start, but we reined her in, and I think I made a lot of good buddies out of this deal.
It was a great racing season all year long. You came into tonight's standings 4th in the points. You'll leave here 4th in the points. That'll reward you a $18 payout to take home back home to the team. So just kind of walk us through what that means for a driver that is racing his first modified league to be able to show your name like that in top 5 in points.
I've always modifieds. I don't like the culture of trying to race them official. So I've always just played around with them and tested, and they're a lot of fun to drive, and I hope we can continue this deal on.
We appreciate it. That's Dylan Thomas, and more news to come about maybe later in the future of the I-85 Asphalt Series, so just keep posted around on the news for the rest of the season. So we're glad to have you. Great race here tonight, caution-free at the Richmond Raceway.
Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. That's the 03 of Dylan Thomas. He'll bring home the 4th place points standings position here when it's all said and done, and he will have a nice, decent payout. We'll scoot down here to the 7th place position before we head on over to our championship driver, Michael Johnson. Aaron Evans will get ready to join us here in the booth in just a second. Aaron Evans had one hell of a race here of the regular season. Aaron, as you join us here in the booth, kind of walk us through your race here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. 7th place finish, but you won the heat race and had tons of speed early in tonight's event. Walk us through it.
Well, just grown a lot more comfortable in the car, and that was really evident tonight. I feel like was fastest in practice. I was P5, I think, in quali, so starting on the front row for the heat race, and then sadly I didn't get to fight for the lead, but did my best to just run it off and keep the lead that I did have, even with, I think there were 2 safety cars there, so it felt really good, felt really fast, didn't need to make any adjustments to the car, and then came to the main event, and it was interesting to say the least. Got bumped around a lot, especially there early on, and again, same thing I do over in the late models. I just was like, I know this person's going to save their stuff. I know that they're going to be reliable. And I stuck behind them, saved my stuff as best as I could, and made a late push. Got a few positions, but got tangled up, which just held me back too much from finishing in that top 5.
One thing I will say is, coming from the first couple races of the season, involved in a ton of accidents, some of them not even of your own doing, getting behind in the point standings, and even missing a race or 2, you were able to fight back here into the point standings. Looks like you will finish above Ace Throckmore. He didn't have the night that he was looking for. It was already close in points, so you might snag the 7th place point spot. Either way, you're looking at somewhere between a $9 and $7 payout, so you'll at least make your money back plus more. So it's kind of walk us through all together, wrap on your season, and thank anybody on top of this 48.
Well, I mean, again, like I said, the season, it was a little rough to start out with. I mean, I came here to learn, and learn I did a hell of a lot of it, because the modified, even that mid-season physics update made it, tire change, whatever you want to call it, made it really interesting to drive after that. A lot looser. It takes a little bit more time to build the heat into the tires, but I mean, you take me from the first couple of races against me now, and there's no question me now is gonna just absolutely wipe the floor. The cars just felt like it was getting faster and faster, and I mean, we only had 1 or 2 nights that really didn't go our way in terms of what we were expecting. So the climb back up the leaderboard, even with missing that race, and I think the 1 or 2 DNFs, has been really great. And so just to end it off real quick, I want to say thank you to you for putting it on, Neil for being a great competitor, because you've raced the last couple of races, but also for being a great race control. The sponsor Hooters, and finally my fiance for supporting me.
And we appreciate it. And Aaron Evans brings home the 7th place spot here tonight. Great race from you tonight. Great season altogether. Glad to have you here. Stick around for more news possibly on the league. Just all together.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. That's number 48, Hooters Machine of Aaron Evans. He will bring home the 7th place position here tonight. And it's all over, folks. We'll bring it down here to the Season 3 champion, Michael Johnson. Has waited all season long for the possible opportunity at this moment, and it has came. The Season 3 champion will join us here in the booth. Michael Johnson, the Pacematic number 40 modified, is now a I-85 Asphalt Series champion.
Yes, sir. I'm so happy.
A awesome race here tonight. Caution free at the Richmond Raceway. Incident free. You jumped out front there at about almost 1.5 race lead. They were able to tow you back down with the draft and a little bit of tire wear, maybe trying to save it a little bit. Just talk about the whole season as a whole. You guys came in here and fired off immediately. The 10 races ran on the regular season, 8 top 5s out of those 10 races, 4 heat race wins, and this will be your 3 wins on the regular season, and I believe this will just get you right outside that top 5 that you're looking for to make it 9. So just kind of walk us through the race and the season you had here.
Yeah, I mean, the entire season we had a very fast car. Everyone in this league was great. There was beating and banging, but, that's racing, and, everyone in this league respects each other. So I think that's why this modified series is very well respected, and it puts on a very good show.
It does put on a very good show. It was a great season here altogether, from damn near quarter miles here to tonight at the 3/4 miles track to the mile tracks. These modifieds put on a show week in, week out, and we were calling your name a lot. Tons of battles with the modified right in front of you. Your teammate, Patrick McPeak. Both of you guys will bring home some kind of sort of payment this time, but it'll be you bringing home the $70 grand prize and the championship shirt as well. So kind of walk us through just this number 40. Anybody like to think on this number 40 team, and any plans you have celebrating this championship?
Yeah, this race, I kind of, I guess wore my tires out too soon. But, I had the championship locked up by 70 points. So I was just making sure my car was intact at the end of the race. Towards the end, I kind of just let people by that they had better tire. I wasn't going to fight them for position. I'm just happy that I had the championship locked up. I wanted to thank Pacematic, PSR, NR3 Racing, NR3 Design, and AF1 Racing. We'll be back, and then I'm just going to celebrate. I got a baby boy going to be born in less than a week, so that'll be my celebration.
We appreciate it. Congratulations on the baby. It seems like several of you drivers in the field are soon-to-be dads or becoming dads here in the next couple of days. So congratulations on that new chapter in life. You'll have something to celebrate with, to make sure you wrap them up in that brand-new championship T-shirt. So we appreciate you, Michael. Great racing here tonight. An awesome show from this number 40. Awesome season. Congratulations on your championship.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's the driver of the number 40 Season 3 champion here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series of Michael Johnson. He will bring home the championship, $70 grand prize, and a championship shirt that is absolutely bad to the bone, custom made to his liking. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Johnson will bring home that 6th place spot, but it was Neil Rutt winning it when it was all said and done. Patrick McPeak brings home the 2nd place position. Zach Evans brings home the 3rd place spot. 4th belongs to Adam Peeler in that number 27 machine, followed by Dylan Thomas in the 5th place spot. Michael Johnson will score the 6th place spot when it's all said and done here in Season 3. Aaron Evans grabs the 7th place spot. Chris Schaffner finishes in the 8th place position, followed by Cody Klauser in the 9th place spot. In the 919 modified, Josh Moore was able to get out of the way several times here tonight for the lead pack group, being respectful. Top 10 here tonight for him. Hey, Throckmorton will blow a right front tire as well as Mike Doyle in his M&D Motorsports Modified. They'll finish 11th and 12th, followed by Nate Hall in the 13th place spot. That'll do it here tonight here at the Richmond Raceway as the lights shine down the Toyota back straightaway here in Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt wins the season finale here of Season 3 for the WHELEN Modified Division. And ladies and gentlemen, we do not know the future here yet of the I-85 Asphalt Series, but if this is it, we appreciate everybody showing up here week in and week out, doing everything here to make us go around. It has been guys and people like you that have made this shake week in and week out. Ladies and gentlemen, the Red, White, and Boom 100 goes to Neil Rutt, but it's Michael Johnson winning the championship when it's all said and done here at the Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, your Season 3 champion, Michael Johnson, scores the Season 3 championship tonight at Richmond. God bless everybody that makes this thing go around. Tune in tomorrow night on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. The Late Model Stocks Dash for Cash Championship Race live at the Martinsville Speedway right here in Virginia at the Paperclip. You're not going to want to miss a thing. Michael Johnson wins the Season 3 championship. Neil Rutt takes the final race here at Richmond. We'll see you tomorrow night.